Welcome to Block's Mycological Misdemeanors. And here we have a new series. We're going to start our Enigma Grow series. The infamous blob strain. We'll see how it goes. As you can see by this syringe, it's not the clearest on camera, but I couldn't see a huge amount of culture floating in there as I've seen in other syringes which appeared to have a bit more developed mycelium. So we'll see how that goes. Now we're going to start off by a bit of culture to agar and see if we can get it to colonize, and we'll see how clean it starts to develop if it does. We go through the rigmarole here of putting on the needle tip, spraying and wiping all of our gear to make sure that we're in the most effective environment, our most clean and sterile environment. As you can see, this fucking messy ass room. Definitely no contaminants that could be floating around in the air that could get brought in here. You'll see, and as you'll see, the first squirt of any syringe seems to be just uncontrollable. I should have squirted onto something else and then dropped a few drops after we had that first sort of movement from the plunger that, I guess, loosened it up a bit and got it to move a bit more controllably. But, we blew our load immediately, heavily, and we might have put a little bit too much in there, but we'll see how we go. Hopefully something will colonize, and hopefully it won't be mold, because that'll really ruin my day. We wrap this bitch up with a bit of micropore tape and make sure it's all set in there. What are we fucking doing here with our gloves? Oh yeah. It's always a good idea as well to mark your agar plates. I've neglected to do so a couple of times now and forgotten which strain I actually put on it, which, lets it be a bit of a surprise. And we have the popcorn. We've let it soak for 24 hours and now we're just boiling it. Now I think we boiled it for about 30 minutes until we got the popcorn soft enough to be able to sort of split with our thumb and our fingernail, but not to fully turn it to mush. Let it dry out for about an hour in the colander to just let excess water drain out. Now we're just going to put it into our grain jars. Fill it about 3/4 of the way up, so we have hopefully enough for the mycelium to really colonize and eat up and develop a nice chain, and give us enough room to break and shake the mycelium once it develops nicely enough. And this is a tip I learned from 90-second mycology. We put the inside part of the lid on upside down, and then we'll screw the outer band, screw it up tight, and then undo it by about a quarter turn, just so we can get a bit of fresh air exchange in there, and cover it up with foil. And the reason for doing this while we sterilize the jar is so that pressure doesn't build and it doesn't explode in the pressure cooker. And once we inoculate it, we'll be doing that for obviously the fresh air exchange that mycelium needs in order to grow. Just setting the pressure cooker up and put it on about 120 degrees Celsius, which equates to about 15 psi. Unfortunately, this pressure cooker can only cook for an hour at a time, so we had to do it for 1.5 times to get the 90 minutes that seems to be recommended for sterilizing grain jars. And yeah, I definitely organically caught it at 1 minute remaining. I definitely don't have no life and was sitting there like a jackass waiting for it to go off so I could record that for my stupid YouTube video that's going to get no views. Anyway, here we have the grain jars, fully sterilized, ready to set aside to cool down. Now we are using Enigma culture here, so Enigma, as far as I'm aware, has a bit of it likes lower temperatures a bit more. I don't know if that actually has an effect with destroying the mycelium at higher temperatures, but we let it cool down enough that it's not going to have any deleterious effects on the mycelium. So we've let it cool down entirely. Now we'll sterilize and inject our liquid culture in. Make sure that we get a bit of liquid culture around all the sides before dumping a bit in the middle, giving us decently even coverage and allowing the mycelium to colonize evenly, as well as giving us a good view of what's going on the sides of the the grain jar. Again, just undo that lid by a quarter turn, give it a bit of room to breathe. We'll pop our foil on and we'll keep you all updated on how it's going, post regular updates. Yeah, thanks for watching.